Listen up, Latinas. It is time to take ownership of our dinero. Because if we don't, who will? Did you know that only 45% of Latinas have a savings account? And 83% of Hispanic millennials have no retirement savings whatsoever.
Damn!
And what's even more alarming, hermanas, is that even though we're the second largest ethnic group in the United States, there's a $200 billion lending gap between Latino-owned businesses and their white counterparts. This is why Fortuna Latina exists, a free program designed to help Latinas build wealth, manage money, and secure their financial independence. This is about controlling your future and letting go of your money trauma. Mi gente, the wealth gap isn't shrinking, it is growing. And unless we take control of our finances right now, we risk passing down struggle instead of security. So don't hesitate, hermana. Join Fortuna Latina, the only financial literacy program designed specifically by Latinas for Latinas. Get access to expert mentorship, an amazing community, and the tools that you need to thrive. Your financial independence begins right now. Join the movement today at fortunalatina.net.
This is actually the first time that I'm speaking about it publicly, so you're welcome.
Oh, Baking on Cultura exclusive. Look at Trump. That's our example of how bad press can work in your favor, baby.
They're not prepared, no tan preparado to be able to say, you know what, all of this is going to come. But I come from a lineage of strong women who paved the way for me to get to where I am right now.
Sounds like a strategy. What would J-Lo do?
What would J-Lo do? Well, I say I love Kim K, so I'm like,
Okay.
what would Kim Kardashian do?
Hosting events for women from all different walks of life. What's some bochinche that comes with this? Because I know.
I want to keep it PG.
No, we do rated R.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, where do we start?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Banking on Cultura. I am your esteemed host, Victoria Jen Rodriguez, and I'm so excited to have you back here on the show. And today I have a guest that I'm pretty sure we'll be doing a lot of kikiing. We'll be doing a lot of laughing. But most importantly, which is my favorite part when I have amazing guests, is we're going to keep it so real and so raw and talk about something that is thriving in the community right now, but not in a good way. So without further ado, I want to introduce Kayelani Vazquez. Welcome to Banking on Cultura.
Thank you so much for having me, Jen. It is absolutely a pleasure to be here. And yeah, we're going to do a lot of kikiing. Like literally, when you're with me, girl, you know the vibes.
I know the vibes. So tell the folks what it is that you do.
Yeah, so I'm the CEO and founder of Boss Babes Brunch, and we are a female identifying networking experience, not only traveling across the globe, internationally, really. So yes, across the globe, right?
Yes.
All over.
Yes, we worldwide out here.
We worldwide, baby. To bring communities of women together to uplift them and empower them, or bring out the power that they already have within, right?
Yeah.
Elevating them and making sure that they're setting the tone for themselves and making sure that they're just creating the dream life that they want, both professionally, personally, in life and in communities.
I love that. And it's basically like brunch style, right?
Yeah.
It's like a brunch style experience where you just bring ladies together, different walks of lives to kiki, eat some good food, have a good time. I actually had the pleasure of going to one of the experiences in Miami, which was a lot of fun. It was hot that day, girl, right? It was so hot.
Girl.
But the humidity had my curls popping, though. That's the only good thing that I like about it.
Yeah, it was so hot that day. And yeah, it is over brunch, but we talk about business too, right? Like we get stuff done, and we're giving women the foundational work that they need to be able to take this idea that's maybe planted in their heart and in their minds and literally elevate that, right? In a space where sometimes they feel like when you go to corporate summits or you go to conferences, you feel like maybe you can't really be. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that and how we do that at Boss Babes Brunch.
I love it. So, okay, so Boss Babes Brunch has been around how long now?
So we will turn 2 in May.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
And did you start doing it full time or did you start doing it part time?
I went full force.
Like full force.
Full force.
It was like, I'm all in, let's do it.
Like, let's do it.
So what were you doing before?
I was working as a pediatric care coordinator at a nonprofit.
Okay.
And I got married in 21. I've been with my husband for 16 years now.
Oh, wow. Congratulations to
Girl,
you.
I would say something, but I want to keep it PG.
No, we do rated R
I was
here.
going to say, I've been with the same people forever.
Listen.
But I love him and he's so supportive.
Aww.
And all of that to say that we got married in 21. And right after my wedding, I said, listen, babe, I think I'm leaving this job. And as supportive as he's always been, he was like, babe, do it. Like,
I love
if it's in your heart to do something, I got you. I support you. And so after our wedding, it was June. I gave myself 6 months and I left corporate and I was like, deuces, like I'm out. And just started, ruffling a couple feathers along the way. But here we are.
I love that. And we love a supportive partner.
Yes.
A supportive zaddy. Shout out to all the supportive zaddies out there.
Yeah, exactly.
We love and appreciate you guys. Okay, so 2 years in. So let's talk about what that journey is like, the beginning journey. Because sometimes I have guests on and, they're way ahead of me. They're like in it,
right.
They're doing it. But like, I love to talk about the beginning because the beginning is when you truly are able to like shape yourself as a leader, as a business person, as I would say a well-seasoned, oiled machine. You kind of like set the foundation at the beginning. So 2 years in, so how have you been able to create this experience internationally in 2 years? Because I know that must be an investment that you put up front, right? When you are hosting these events.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, where do we start?
Yeah. Let's start at how much it costs to actually host. Like, because I know we got a lot of people who love to host experiences. So how much realistically should you be thinking about if you want to host an event?
Literally anywhere between 25 to 30K.
Yeah.
And I'm doing this every 3 months.
Wow.
Literally selling out every single 3 months, right? So I do one quarterly, and I do them in different states. And so that's the challenge, right? Because it's like, how do you even bring out these women to the different states or internationally? How do you travel with this?
Yeah.
And it's a lot of like being tenacious. It's a lot of plug and play. I literally copy and paste what I do in every state, right? To make sure that the community feels heard and seen. And these are women who've never connected with each other before. So I keep that in mind. And word of mouth goes a very, very, very long way. But it's also hard because some of the times I take away from family, right? I take away from my daughter. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. So I have to wear all the hats. And I'm taking away from that to have to also invest in Boss Babes and Brunch.
Yeah.
And when I am doing that, right? Like driving distances, 2 hours to get here, let's just say, for example, I think that's a lot of the things that people don't see.
Yeah.
How much it takes to really invest in your business. And when you are starting up, right? It's like you are making a name for yourself. You are paving the way so that you can make sure that as you continue in your journey, this is something that is reputable, something that you're passionate about, that people believe in as well, that they want to support, that they're happy to support. And it really does show as who that person is, right? So for me, it's like my face is everything. So
where did you get the money to like host your first event?
Through ticket sales.
Okay, but you had to put money down, no? First on the venue, no?
No.
Oh.
No. So a lot of it is through relationship building.
Okay.
And going into the venues and speaking to the venues and saying, hey, listen, this is what I'm doing. Do you support this idea? And with that being said, a lot of venues are like, yeah, let's make it happen. And then I just start selling, for women to come. And I wouldn't want to say selling because that's not what it all is about. But telling women, this is what I'm doing. Are you interested? Are you behind this? Do you want to sit in a high vibe community? Because that's what it's about. Community for me is everything. And a lot of women have said yes. Not once really tackling a corporate sponsor. So a lot of what I do is just the women in the room.
So you are bootstrapping a lot right now.
A lot.
But wait, so when you go into these venues, you say, like, is there like a contract say, I can guarantee I can bring in this much money, but I can't pay you up front. I can pay you like after?
Yeah, so I do a deposit.
Oh, okay.
I do a deposit.
So you do a deposit.
I always do a deposit. And then everything else that's paid is through the revenue that I'm getting, whatever's coming in.
Okay.
And then I guarantee, yes, a certain amount of women.
Okay.
So depending on the space and depending on the city, right?
Okay.
Very rarely do I get less than 100.
Yeah.
Normally I get over 100 women to join. And I mean, to now, knock on wood, it's been working. So I think that it's been very successful. And again, it's the relationships that I'm forming with these venues and just putting it out there. This is what I'm doing. Are you open to the idea?
Yeah. It's hard because I know I do my annual women's event every year and we have like just under 200 women and I can't even think about doing that multiple times a year because it is so much work that goes into it. But what I'm hearing from you and what is cool and I think also has helped you save some time is you kind of have the same framework that you just reintroduce into each city, which is helpful, I'm sure. So planning these events, new to the game, hosting events for women from all different walks of life. What's some bochinche that comes with this? Because I know there's so much that comes with not only being a new entrepreneur, 2 years in the game, trying to figure it all out, but also like making a promise to deliver a specific type of experience. Like that's not easy. So what's some bochinche about this?
Yeah. Oh, girl, where do I even start with that, right? Like, will you tell me what the bochinche is? Because we both go through this. I think it is that, right? Making a promise definitely to deliver something and then not having it pan out exactly how you anticipated.
Yeah.
I have had this happen to me and it has been very hard for me to navigate because you don't want to make anybody upset, right? You don't want anybody to have a bad taste in their mouth about your business, especially when you are a new entrepreneur. You want people to believe and come and be happy and excited. But when shit don't go exactly how it's supposed to go, guess what you're getting? You're getting the backlash, and you're getting it fast. And it's coming at a rate that you sometimes feel like you can't even control because people are always going to talk. They're always going to have an opinion about something, yet they're not the ones doing the work. So for me personally, what I've experienced has been just that, right? Having people talk and not be happy. And the way I've tackled that is I've said, I'm sorry. Multiple times, a multitude of times. And I just keep going. I keep pushing because if I allow that to keep me stagnant, guess what's going to happen? Yeah. I'll never host another brunch experience again.
Totally.
Right? So it's knowing, okay, what battle are you going to fight? How are you going to push forward? How are you going to move forward as an entrepreneur? Because everybody goes through this shit. Like everybody goes through this hardship.
Especially when you're in like, service-based, product-based, it doesn't matter. You're always going to have customers, clients who are not 100% satisfied, and you're never going to be able to do that for everyone all the time, every time. But it is a hard pill to swallow when you do disappoint someone that has invested in you.
Absolutely.
Like, that's not easy. And listen, with today's environment, like people are so quick to let the world know about their experiences. Like it is just, this is why people don't become entrepreneurs because they're scared of putting themselves out there and they're scared of possibly like the backlash that can come with that. So what I heard was that you had an experience where a customer wasn't completely satisfied. So what happened? Like how did you manage it?
I just kept it pushing, right? So yeah, the backlash came on social media and it came fast. And remember, I'm planning, right?
So they went to social media.
They took to social media.
And told them like about what they experienced.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Okay.
Like multiple videos and like, let's talk about that ugly. Like that's the ugly part, right?
Yeah.
And so I just like completely turned a blind eye. And it's not that I don't want to address the situation at hand. It's always been that why should I give energy to that? Whatever you feed energy to grows. Yeah. Right. And as an entrepreneur, people at the top, people who are growing huge companies, huge organizations aren't really worried about negativity, right? They take it, they take the feedback, they say thank you, and then they keep on moving. And for me, like I said, I've apologized. That is not how I wanted things to go, that experience back in Puerto Rico. It's literally cost me.
Oh, so this happened in Puerto Rico?
This happened in Puerto Rico.
Okay. On the homeland.
On the homeland, nena. En Puerto Rico. Lo que pasó en Puerto Rico. And it has eaten at me to date, right? Behind the scenes, it has broken me. It has literally made me feel like you start kind of believing, right? Like you start that imposter syndrome. And I've literally, through the support, again, of my community, of people who are like, absolutely not, you're doing such an incredible job. Not that I seek validation, but there is credit to be given to the work that I am doing. And I've just said to myself, I can't do anything more than what I've already done. And I have to be okay with the decisions that I've made. And while it may look messy to some, and some may have an opinion on it, guess what? It's my business. Yeah. Right? And not everybody's going to agree, and that is okay. But how do you navigate that? I had to come to terms with it. And I had to just say, what else can I do? What else can be done in this situation? Because I have to stick to my policies and procedures.
Yeah, yeah. It's difficult because you know what you bring to the marketplace. You know what you're offering. You have the dream. You have the vision. And something doesn't go according to plan. And instead of somebody coming to you directly and saying, hey, this is my experience, like, what can we do about it? They go public with it, and then it's like a snowball effect. And then other people start tuning in. And listen, people love the bochinche, right? So they're like kikiing about it. They're like talking about it. And then I'm sure for you, you're like, fuck, like, who else is hearing about this?
Right.
Like, how am I being perceived now outside in the marketplace? So I know I've had that happen to me. Like, I've had experiences where I've had people buy into my programs. And I remember this one instance where this woman bought into my program and she went through the entire program. So I have on-demand learning. She went through the entire curriculum, accessed every single thing, and then came back to me and asked me for a refund. I said, sweetie, sweetheart.
My love, darling.
Like,
do you go and get a master's and say to the university, I'm sorry, I didn't like the curriculum, so can I get my money back on a master's that I just completed?
Exactly. And it sucks because it happens a lot to small business owners. Like, they will try you. They will try you, but they won't try Louis Vuitton.
No.
They won't try Delta.
No.
They won't try any of these other organizations, but they will try you.
Absolutely.
Knowing that you just out here trying to like feed your family.
Literally.
Right? You don't have this corporate backing, but it's almost like they take advantage. It's like they know that they might get the refund and so they try it.
They try it. And the cancel culture, right? It's about, okay, well, we see somebody who is thriving, somebody who is putting in the work every single day. And it's not that the person can't, it's just that they won't. And so instead of saying to that person, hey, listen, you know, these are areas that maybe you can button up on and give some feedback. No, it's like cancel culture is real. Let's try to cancel this person. And if you are weak-minded, if you have the mentality of like, you know, that imposter syndrome and your mindset's not right to be able to deal with these tough situations, you literally will fold. You will, because you're human. You have those feelings, right? So yeah, it's been hard.
Listen up, Latinas. It is time to take ownership of our dinero. Because if we don't, who will? Did you know that only 45% of Latinas have a savings account? And 83% of Hispanic millennials have no retirement savings whatsoever. Damn! And what's even more alarming, hermanas, is that even though we're the second largest ethnic group in the United States, there is a $200 billion lending gap between Latino-owned businesses and their white counterparts. This is why Fortuna Latina exists, a free program designed to help Latinas build wealth, manage money, and secure their financial independence. This is about controlling your future and letting go of your money trauma. Mi gente, the wealth gap isn't shrinking, it is growing. And unless we take control of our finances right now, we risk passing down struggle instead of security. So don't hesitate, hermana. Join Fortuna Latina, the only financial literacy program designed specifically by Latinas for Latinas. Get access to expert mentorship, an amazing community, and the tools that you need to thrive. Your financial independence begins right now. Join the movement today at fortunalatina.net.
Whenever somebody says that they're not happy with whatever you do, you never want to digest that. It never feels good. But then you also have to be mindful of the situations where people are miserable. And they will try to instill their misery on you. And we can't lie, like jealousy is not a thing. Envy is not a thing. Like people want to be you, especially when you're like in the spotlight, when you're doing it, when you are loved by the community. Like they want to be a part of that. And not everybody knows how to do that in a way where it's actually like positive. They only know negative because that's what they know. Yeah. Right. And that's so, okay. So
I'm like la luz que alumbra, right?
Yeah.
Like every time I feel like every time I walk into a room, and anyone who knows me knows I'm all smiles. And I will say though that this has happened to me since I was a child. Like we could talk for days about podcasting, right? Like traumas and things that have come with me since young, right? Since I feel like born. You don't want to come across as being too conceited or too confident or too cocky, lo que sea. Or come mierda was one of the things that I was always told as a child, right? And now as an adult, it's like, am I still that? But absolutely not. I'm running a whole business that I'm confident about, that I'm happy to have. And people just aren't receptive to that because they see that and they're like, oh, there she goes. It's that mean girl energy that they give off.
So you said it's been difficult to manage this and they went to social media. So isn't that like defamation? Like, should we start suing people out here? Like, I don't know. Like, if somebody's coming at me with video, I'm gonna be like, listen, don't make me call my lawyers.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Don't make me make the call.
Listen, I mean, do what you want, right? What would you do? Do what you want. Do as you wish. Defamation, cancel culture. We can go for infringement. We can go for smear campaign. I mean, we could go for anything. But again, where do I want to put my energy? My energy does not need to be invested on what somebody else is saying, because let's talk about it. You think J-Lo is on social media every single time looking at a negative comment and who wants to cancel her? There's how many pages? Absolutely not. And that's, I do want to compare myself. I love
that sounds
J-Lo.
like a strategy. What would J-Lo do?
What would J-Lo do? Well, I say I love Kim K. So I'm like, what would Kim Kardashian do? Right?
Yeah. There's definitely smear campaigns around there too. Yes.
There's tons.
But that's a really good topic to dive into, because one of the things that I think about is, like, as I continue to build my career, as I continue to build my brand, like, I do consider, I'm like, damn, do I want all this attention? Because I know what comes with that attention.
Of course.
Right? And there's always going to be hate. But the hate actually, it's almost like right now we're in this moment of controversy. It's almost like you want people talking about you, whether it's good or bad, because at the end of the day, it's still going to help your business grow. That's like what I'm learning. Like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously you don't want it to be so negative, but I mean, look at Trump. That's our example.
There you have it.
Of how bad press can work in your favor, baby.
Hello.
Okay.
Let's talk about that. Like, the fact that you just said that. I was waiting because, like, girl, I was like, can we just say who we have as a president of the United States?
Listen.
And if that is the example and he's still up there, Kayelani has nothing to worry about, okay? Because it's real. Like, it's real. Good or bad, people are going to talk.
Right.
And you can't please everybody. And again, like I said, you look at things and you say, okay, what could I have changed?
Right.
What could have gone differently? And you adjust. One of my mentors once said to me, when you are starting a business, you're going to lose a lot of money. That is the first thing, right? You're going to invest tons of money. And then you always find yourself doing shit messy and cleaning it up later. Not that you want to put out messy work, but it's not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
It is going to be messy. It is going to be ugly. It is not going to look pristine, and that is okay. And I feel like a lot of people don't start something because they go in with this idea of, I need everything to be perfect. Perfection is played out.
Period. Perfection is played out. And I'm always about progress over perfection.
Exactly.
That's like my thing. And I agree. Like, it holds people back. They need to be perfect. And it is going to be messy. It's going to be super messy. And you almost want it to be messy because that's when you learn.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure you learned so much from this experience.
Absolutely.
And have thought about, okay, now how am I going to make sure the next time I don't make these mistakes? Or how am I going to make sure that I handle this situation in this way? Like, I know, shout out to every single client that I've had and everyone who hasn't invested in me, because I know I've made mistakes along the way. And I know that I probably disappointed some people along the way. Like, but that is how you get better. Yeah. And that is how you grow. Like, there is no other way around it. It's like with anything new that you start. Like, if you're a new mom, you're gonna make some mistakes.
There you go.
like if you're a new girlfriend, you're gonna make some mistakes. Like, that just is what it is. And we have to accept that. And we have to also extend some grace.
Exactly. And that part, right? Extend some grace. And I would say also to button up on those contracts, right? Making sure that you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's along the way, knowing that you're going to fail, but you're going to fail forward. You're not going to step back, right? You're going to make sure that you are evaluating all the scenarios as an entrepreneur and you're moving forward with it. Because if you stay stagnant, if you stay stuck in the things that shoulda, coulda, woulda, you're not going to push forward as an entrepreneur. And I will say too, you need to be prepared for this kind of stuff to happen to you as an entrepreneur if you see yourself growing in your business, because it's going to come. It's going to happen no matter what.
Yeah. I remember after one of my events, I had someone go to social media and I didn't even know. I had people calling me, like my people's, and being like, "Hey, did you see this?" And I'm like, "No." And then I saw it and I was like, "Wow, I fucking made it." Yeah. Yes. I mean, nobody wants to have
Of
that type of
course.
attention, but it's like, wow, like, okay, like this is, I
That's
feel
it.
like, all right, it's just gonna get
Can't nobody stop me,
bigger from
baby.
here. More people are gonna complain from here, because again, you can't satisfy anyone. And you almost, again, you want to welcome those things. Like, it sucks in the moment, and it's like, oh, like, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good.
It doesn't feel good.
Nobody likes to be spoken about in a negative way. I don't care what anybody says. But if you do look at it from a perspective of, okay, like, what is God trying to teach me in this moment? What can I learn from this?
Right.
How can I improve? And also, how can I make sure that my community knows the real me and just continue to show up in that way as my authentic self?
Exactly that. And I put that out. A lot of what I do, all of my businesses run primarily on social media. Connecting with the women is all on social media. And so I just continue to have these conversations. I mean, when you get DMs, right, from your speakers who are saying, hey, listen, we got a message, a private DM from somebody with this, it kind of hits you. You're kind of like, what is happening?
She reached out to the speakers? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. You're taking it too far.
Yeah, like individually reaching out to speakers, that calls for cyberbullying, in my opinion. And call it what you will, say what you want. Perhaps it isn't. Some people view it differently. Everybody has an opinion. But if you go in depth with that, then absolutely that's cyberbullying.
Wow.
And that is unacceptable.
So what we did, we called up the lawyer and we were like...
So, no, I did contact an attorney. And the best advice was, how far do you want to go with this? And do I want to give my energy there? This is actually the first time that I'm speaking about it publicly. So you're welcome.
Oh, Banking on Cultura exclusive.
You're welcome.
Not only how much energy, but money.
Money.
Because you got to pay the lawyers to
Exactly. For somebody's experience. That does not dictate, right, my entire organization. It does not dictate the work that I am doing. It does not dictate how I am still supporting women and how I am still making sure that I'm traveling from state to state to give women my experience on what I've gone through. Like, listen, this is happening to me 2 years in. And if it's happening to me 2 years in, mija, keep going. Because you haven't even cracked the surface yet. You don't even know what's about to come for you.
Yeah.
Sigue tu camino.
Yeah.
That's it. Fuck the rest.
And if you think about it, like, the higher you go, the more heat you're going to get. I mean, people are suing each other left and right. Like, you see it on social
More money,
media.
more
You're reading
problems.
about it in the blogs. Like, Kim K got lawsuits up the wazoo.
Yeah.
People don't like the skims. Give them a skin rash. Like, all the things.
Not
like,
the skin rash.
like, it happens.
It
You know
does.
what I mean? Like, it comes with the territory when you make the decision that you're no longer going to play small.
Exactly. And you're going to do it in the public eye.
Right. Yes.
You're going to be scrutinized no matter what.
Yes. As long as we keep that in mind, like, the scrutiny is going to come, but don't let that deter you from, like, shining all the way bright and making sure that it doesn't, like, halt you. Like, it doesn't, like, stop you, like, in your tracks. Even though I'm pretty sure when this happened to you, you were like...
Your world collapses.
Yes.
Your world collapses. For that second, for that moment in time, you feel like, what is the point of continuing, right? You feel, a lot of people, if we're going to talk about the social media piece of it, that shit will fuck with your mental to the point. Have you not seen a lot of people commit suicide for this? For things like this, because mentally they're not prepared, no tan preparado to be able to say, you know what, all of this is going to come. But I come from a lineage of strong women who paved the way for me to get to where I am right now, right? My ancestors. I have my mother-in-law who's absolutely incredible. And I say that because if it wasn't for those women, if it wasn't for the women telling me, mija, you keep on going no matter what, I would have been broken a long time ago, girl. A long time ago. But I have a mission. And I also feel like, too, my mission more so is I have a daughter. And I want to teach her, lo que sea, no matter what, you keep going, you never quit.
Yeah.
You keep going.
I love that. That's so important. And kudos to you for keep going and coming out on the other side and not letting it, like, stop you. And also, it's really brave and courageous to talk about this stuff publicly. So thank you for making that decision, because we don't talk about this stuff enough. Like, everybody sees the glitz, everybody sees the glam, everybody sees the after product, but nobody sees, like, what it's like when you're, like, in the trenches and people are coming for you or you're doubting yourself. Imposter syndrome is playing a part. Like, nobody really talks about that stuff.
Because perception is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Perception is everything. Social media, especially IG, you see it in squares. That is what you see. Mm-hmm. Whatever the person decides to put there is what you see. You don't know them personally. You have no idea what walk or how much it took them to get there. So when you're looking at their page, you're like, oh my gosh, aesthetically, this is so amazing. She must do such great work, which I do. But girl, you didn't see me when I was just ugly crying 20 minutes ago in the shower because I can't cry in front of my daughter without her asking me, Mommy, are you okay? You know what I mean? Because if I'm crying over cooking dinner for my husband, he's like, babe, chin up. People don't see those things. And so it's quick to say, yeah, she's traveling from here to there. Like I'll be in LA in less than 17 days on the 9th. I don't know when this is going to come out, but
soon.
Yeah. So, knowing that I'm traveling and leaving my family, leaving them behind to pursue this dream that I have, it's like, can you give me props for that? Because you could do it too, baby. Let's do it together. Mm-hmm. Let's do it together. The more women, I want to send that elevator down for more women to come up.
Yeah. What is your advice for someone who has this type of experience? Someone who, going out on their dreams, following their dreams, giving it their all, and they have this hate that comes their way. Like, what would be your advice?
Don't give up. Don't quit, right? Like, keep on going. It's going to happen, but lean into your community also, too. And when I say community, you're starting 5, right? I have a friend of mine, and she always talks about the starting 5. Who are those 5 people in your life that you can identify that literally are so supportive of you all the time? That no matter what you're going through, they're listening and they're not judging. That they're telling you can keep on going. Because when stuff gets really, really hard, when you feel like, why am I even doing this? Because you're going to do it rich, you're going to do it poor, you're going to do it happy, you're going to do it sad. The point is that you do it, and that sets you apart. You doing the thing that you want, you're part of that 1% crew. Mm-hmm. And that 1% crew, baby, it's 5 a.m.s. It is late nights. It is blood, sweat, tears. It is driving 2 hours to come, be on a podcast. It is inviting new things in your life. But ultimately, it's like the end goal. What is that end goal for you, right? Yeah. And what does success look like for you? Keep on going. Mm-hmm. Keep on going.
First of all, I feel very importante that you drove all that way to come on Banking on Cultura. So thank you so much. I don't call it the starting 5, but I call it your badassery committee.
There you go.
Right? It's your committee of people that you can call that can basically speak life back into you, like light the fire under your ass when you're like feeling a little like doubtful and like the imposter syndrome is kicking in. So I love that. So let's talk a little bit about if somebody wants to start like a business where they're hosting events, like where do they start?
So first, identify what type of community you want to build, right? I mean, there's a community for everything. There's events for everything. So I think you first need to identify what type of community it is that you want, who it is that you're impacting. Shameless plug, you can join my masterclass, right? That I do host on a monthly basis, where we talk about the foundational work that needs to go into starting a networking experience. And utilize your community that you have now. Word of mouth goes a long way. You want to connect with connectors, people who are going to mention you in rooms that you aren't even in. And you know this, right? You want to start creating that buzz. Hey, listen, I am doing this. A room of 5, a party of 5 is great. 3 in a room, amazing. And that's how it starts. It doesn't always have to start. I was fortunate enough to start with 250 women.
Oh, wow.
And it just took off after that. Literally, it took off. Boss Babes Brunch has taken off. But identifying that piece of it and knowing where you want to go. Where do you see yourself doing the work that you're going to do to create that community?
So let's break this down a little bit. So first of all, I love that you said connect with connectors. I love that.
Yeah.
You do actually a really good job. It was one of the things that attracted me to you of building community. Like you have this way of just like galvanizing women and mobilizing. So give us some tips. Like how do you do this? Because building community is hard. It's really hard. So how do you do this?
It's me. It's Kayelani. I say I have the gift of gather.
The gift of gather.
I love that. So my necklace says, it's Mark 11:24, and it's whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have it and it shall be yours. And with that, I literally, if I see somebody on social media and I love, anything about her, I'm going to send her a DM. I want to know what it is that you're doing. And I'm seriously invested. I'm seriously interested, right? Take the time to build that relationship. Take the time to get to know that woman, and now you become her connector. So you connect her to somebody else. And it just is like a ripple effect, right? Think about the bochinche in el pueblo, right? If Juana knows something about Maria, guess what's going to happen? They're going to start talking about it, and chisme spreads fast. So I look at Boss Babes and Brunch as great chisme, right? Let's talk about it. Let's create this community together. And women, it's just a ripple effect.
Okay, but what if they're not you?
If they're not me, call me.
What if we're not Kayelani and we want to build community? How do we do it? Mi gente, I've got the perfect freebie for you. So I just dropped a 17-page workbook to help you get your mind right, especially in this climate of so much uncertainty. So if you are an aspiring or current entrepreneur and you're just feeling stuck, you're not feeling too good about what the future holds, and all the turmoil, the politics, all of it is just throwing you off your game, this workbook is actually going to act as a journal for you. It covers goal setting, efficiency tips, how to manage your time, financial management tips, strategies on how to wrap your head around the next big thing that's coming down the pipeline to bring you consistent revenue in your business. It covers what you should be doubling down on in terms of your well-being, and it is just my favorite jam-packed journal full of marketing and sales strategy to help you get clarity, but most importantly, to help you secure the big bag. So make sure to tap on the link in the show notes. I've linked it there so that you guys can get really clear on the top hacks that you can put into play to set yourself up for success. I hope you love it.
Figure out where you're going to start.
Okay, so we figured out where we're going to start.
Yeah.
Now we actually need to build the community. How do we do that?
Go on Instagram. You're going to find 5 women that you want to connect with. You're going to interact with them, meaning you're going to comment, you are going to like, you're going to start being like their besties, and you're going to send them a DM.
Okay.
That's
what do you
it.
say in the DM?
Hey, girl.
I mean, I'm not
Literally.
responding to a hey, girl.
I do. But you did. We connected in the DMs.
But I don't think you just said, hey, girl.
I said, hey, girl, I love what you're doing. Okay, hey, girl, I love what you're doing.
Okay, yeah. Let's do it more, because some people be like, hey, girl, and I'll be like,
no.
Right. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, hey, girl.
Hey, girl, like, I love what you're doing. Or, hey, girl, tell me about yourself. Or, hey, girl, like something that attracted you to that page, right?
Okay.
Commenting on a post that they have. This is the strategy that I use.
Okay.
And it is a lot about being authentic, right? Coming from a space where you genuinely are interested in this person. Because people can tell the fake, right? They can tell when
How do you
it's
have
not
the
real.
time to be genuinely interested in so many people at the
I
same
love
time?
People. I do. And you know this about me, Jen.
No, I know.
I love people. Listen, I grew up, this is my stomping grounds. Like, literally, I grew up like maybe 10 blocks from here.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So I'm Times Square House Kitchen.
Yes.
People who don't know
Yes.
where we are, right? We're
Yes.
in Midtown Manhattan. And growing up in a city, people are everywhere. Culture is huge.
Okay. So we're genuinely interested. And you're the only one I let call me Jen. It's Victoria Jen.
There we go again.
You're the only one. But so you're genuinely interested. You're reaching out to them in the DM and you're like, hey, girl, I find this really interesting about you, or you have something going on that I'm interested in, etc. So, okay, then what?
And then you invite them to your experience.
And then you invite them to the experience.
Here's the link. If you're interested, you can purchase a ticket to join. What are they getting at that experience, right? And you break it down to them.
Okay.
You're getting this, that, and the third. So for Boss Babes and Brunch example, you are getting the woman empowerment. You are listening to multiple panel discussions. You're getting mocktails. You're getting cocktails. You're getting brunch, which is the food aspect, swag bags, vendors. Think of it like a gathering for you and your girlfriends. And it's fun. It isn't a conference. It isn't a summit, but it's more than that. And so crafting something that is similar in that feels good for you, right? In the community that you're choosing to build.
So how do you keep the community engaged, like after the brunch?
Within their same, that's why I travel from state to state.
Okay.
Right. So I do have an online membership that is free where we have conversations. I utilize social media to create a channel. So I talk in there a lot to women.
Okay.
If they have something going on in their businesses, I do promote and I share, plug people in where I see fit.
Okay, hold on, because these are good plays right here. Hold on. So what I'm hearing is you create a place where people can gather virtually outside of the event so that you're keeping the community and vibe going. And then what I also heard is you're helping promote what they are doing.
Correct.
Okay. Without getting paid.
Correct.
Okay, got it. That goes a long way. Like, people don't understand, like, resharing something on social. Like, when you see somebody pushing something, you see somebody they're really passionate about, and you reshare it, like, they pay attention to that shit. Like, they pay attention and they remember. You know what I mean? They remember.
They do. Mm-hmm. And it's like, in a world where marketing is everything, sharing somebody else's event or experience or whatever it is that they have going on goes a very long way. And so it is a community page, right? The social media that I use, the platform that I use, it's a community page. I'm going to share it. If I'm attending, if I'm speaking, if I have interest in it, I will definitely share it because I think other women will have value.
Okay. So What's up, mi gente? Bet you didn't know that Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You know what's a little less accepted? Taking financial advice from random usernames and avatars you found on some forum. That's just sketchy. No offense to all the finance bros out there on the internet. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
Get more than you expect with the $5 meal deal, part of new McValue. 5 gets you a McDouble or McChicken and a small fry and a small drink and a 4-piece McNuggets. Woo! New McValue at McDonald's. Prices and participation may vary. McDouble meal $6 in some markets for limited time only.
What else? I'm so excited. This is good.
Okay, so we're
having a community masterclass right now.
So relax, you're getting all the tea. So you share it. So we have the online membership. We share it, and then when they're at the experience in person, women talk to each other, right? They love to be surrounded by other women. So everything else happens organically. Mm-hmm. It really is that simple. And I know that you're probably like, okay, is there like a real science? There really isn't. Mm-hmm. I think it's me, honestly. And I think that it's something that can't necessarily be taught because you do have to be, like, I'm a very social person. But I do understand that there are people who aren't social and want to be in spaces like a Boss Babes Brunch or host their own communities as well. Maybe it's a faceless page, right? Mm-hmm. These are all things that I feel like you just need to find what feels right for you.
Yeah. And do you, like, dedicate time? Like, do you say, okay, from like 1 to 3 p.m., I am investing into my online community. I'm sharing, I'm commenting, I'm doing all the things you do. Okay.
Absolutely. There's pillars, right? There's things that you need to focus on as an entrepreneur, because if not, I'd be dedicating all day, every day to Boss Babes and Brunch. And being a mom, being a wife, I need to strategically plan my day. So there is a lot of planning.
So give us like an example.
An example of that is when you post on social media, one of the things that you should not be doing is closing out of the app automatically. A lot of people go to social media, they'll post something and they're like, okay, deuces, bye. No, engage with it. Train the algorithm to knowing what it is that you're doing on there, that you're actively connecting with people.
So we're making a post.
Make a post.
And then what are you doing?
And then you're going to like your post.
Okay.
And then you're going to comment on your post.
Okay.
And then you're going to share your post.
Okay.
And you're going to share it with people in your community that you're already engaging with.
Okay.
And then once you do that, you're going to see those people are interacting back with it.
Okay.
Right? Send it to people and say, hey, can you share this? Can you like this? Don't be afraid to ask. Do not be afraid to ask them.
So you're sending them a DM like, hey, can you like this? Can
absolutely.
You do this? Okay.
Yeah. And do not get out of the app. As soon as you post, don't leave the app, because what happens is that then that's it. Like, you're not following up. It's all in the follow through. It's all in the follow up, right? You know, when you go to a conference or a summit or an event, 24 hours. That is the fast action. You should be connecting within 24 hours. 48, maybe, if you're really tired the next day.
Right.
But 24 hours, if not, that connection's gone. They're on to the next thing. Our minds are absorbing at such a fast pace that we need to be able to do things quick and act fast.
I love that. I usually do close out of the app after I post because I'm like, okay, I'm done with that. On to the next thing. But I'm going to try that because you find that it works with the algorithm like it does. Okay, I'm going to try that.
Give yourself at least 10 minutes after.
At least 10 minutes.
At least 10 minutes. That's it. And then you close out. Once you're interacting, you close out and then go back in later on in the day.
Okay.
Right?
Wait, you're supposed to give us an example of your day. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, of my day, of what I do in a day. Okay, so I wake up.
Okay.
Wake up in the morning. I put my robe on.
What time you waking up?
Girl. Okay, so usually like 6.
Okay.
6, because I got to prepare my daughter for school, right? And the hubs leaves the home already by...
These are these moments where I'm happy that I ain't got no kids, because I don't got to be up at 6 to prepare no kids.
Girl,
but anyway.
He is literally up and out like an alarm clock, okay? So I'm already off the bed, right?
Yeah.
Usually like 5:30. Out the door by 6. I wake up at 6 in the morning, do my morning routine, lo que sea. We won't get into detail. Throw on a robe, and I drive her to school. And once I drive her to school, my day starts. I spend the first, I want to say, 15 to 20 minutes praying in the morning, right?
Okay.
So I take a lot of time. I lead everything through prayer. And this is new for me. I want to say in the last maybe 6-7 years. For me, so it hasn't always been that way, even though I do come from a family that did attend church and things like that. But, you know, as you grow older, you find your own jive.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I pray in the morning, and then I have my coffee and set my intention for the day, what it is. Not every day is going to be perfect. Get on my computer, read my emails. Then I log into Instagram, answer any questions that anyone has, interact with social media. And then the first post goes out, I want to say, by 11 a.m.
By 11 a.m.
By 11 a.m. is the first post that goes out. Get into stories, kind of kiki in the stories, right? Interact in the stories with people, put up a couple of polls. That's another great thing. Make sure you're putting up polls that are interactive with your audience. Ask questions.
Yeah.
So that it's intriguing. And then the rest of my day, I wish I want to say that I go to the gym, and I don't.
I know, right?
I want to.
You want to say you do all the things you're supposed to do.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm not a gym rat. I wish I am, pero I'd be lying to you if I
That's
told you. That's
going to be part of your morning prayer.
God,
please
please
help me take my ass to the gym.
Take my ass to the gym. But no, by 11, and then we're at 12. So now I'm having, one thing I do is I skip breakfast, which is a no-no. But I do have lunch. I have a really great, hefty lunch. And then it's already 2 o'clock, and I got to get the baby again. I got to get my daughter.
Okay.
And so throughout the day, yes, I'm interacting on social. I use it a lot, more than most people. But a lot of people can't or don't have the time, the flexibility, right?
Yeah.
And again, Boss Babes and Brunch is all that I do. It's my full time right now. So I do have the time dedicated to that. I host a couple of IG lives with people throughout the day, especially when I'm promoting an experience in a different state. I'm having conversations about it a lot.
What's your backup if, like, there's no Instagram?
I have email list, right? So I have a really great email list.
How many people on your email list?
Girl, 1,500.
Okay.
In like what? 2 years. So I started growing it last year, really.
Okay.
And we've connected with 2,000 women to date who have
Nice.
come to Boss Babes and Brunch experiences. So I think I'm not too bad.
Nice.
Right? I think I can definitely grow it more. But yeah, it's through email marketing.
Okay.
Sending them any
What do
kind
you
of...
use for email marketing?
So I have Wix.
Oh, you use Wix?
I use Wix. I mean, I house everything on there. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. So you get the baby, you're back home, and then you do the mommy-wife thing.
The mommy-wife things. I go to the
then-
grocery store with her, get her something to eat, make dinner. And let me tell you, in my house, we're making dinner.
Okay.
Okay. He likes the way to a man's stomach. I mean, heart is to his stomach. ¿verdad?
Right.
Exactly. So it's like
16 years.
Girl.
That's the play.
Talk about it. It's literally like arroz con gandules or arroz con habichuela or bistec, like heavy meals. So I have to prepare those.
Okay.
All while simultaneously working on the business.
Right. Okay.
I do spend time on Canva.
Okay.
Also too, to draft my posts and stuff. And that's the thing. I wear all the hats in the business, right? So I do a multitude of things.
So when you going to hire help?
Girl, when I make the money for it, right?
Okay.
When I feel like when I'm at a place that I'm like, okay, now I'm generating the revenue to be able to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the plan?
To keep on growing.
Okay.
Right? To keep on growing, to button up on everything. That's another thing. I needed to learn all aspects of the business because I didn't have a business background to be able to then teach it forward.
Yeah.
If I don't know what I'm doing or I don't know what needs to be done, how can I possibly hire somebody for that position?
And do you think like the multi-city model, I mean, I know you're still kind of like in the weeds of it, but like, I don't know. I think about like, is that feasible to do like long term? Because you're not only paying for the venue and all that, but now you're paying for a team to travel. Like I know in Miami, you had like a whole crew of people that was there for you. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. And you was paying them.
I did.
And I was like, oh, okay. I
Yeah.
was like, all right. Like, you know, so imagine going across the country to LA to host.
So the goal, the end goal is when you want to come out with what I'm thinking of doing is the Boss Babe Blueprint, right? And so that not necessarily is a franchise, but it is like a franchise model. And so, but again, I need to walk it to be able to teach it, right?
Okay.
To be able to say to a woman, here is what we do, and here's everything that you can do in this city. Take Boss Babes and Brunch and run with it. I need to know what that's like. What are the logistics in that city? Every city has different rules and regulations, especially around alcohol, food, and beverage.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing now.
That's interesting. So the vision is this is going to be a franchise model where people can copy and paste it.
Correct.
And then they pay you to use the model. You get a kickback fee.
Kind of like white labeling.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Again, you're getting all the bochinche.
I love it. You know, on Banking on Cultura, we're very much about like the behind the scenes, like walk us through the thought process, walk us through the strategy, walk us through like the tangibles, like what this really takes. You know what I mean?
Right.
For people to do, because we want to inspire you to do your own shit, make your own money, follow your dreams, all the things. So we have amazing guests on who are doing incredible work, who are betting on themselves, who are doing it scared, doing it loud.
Yeah.
And they're doing it, you know? Some are still in the trenches. Others have advanced. They've sold off their things. Like, we're going to have you back once this becomes a franchise model. And then we're going to talk about the franchise model. Yeah, you're going to educate us on that. So let's get into the Talk That Talk segment where we address something in the cultura that's taboo or something in the cultura that we would like to see improved more of. What do you think?
In the cultura, I want to say, let's stop the mean girl talking about each other, right?
Yeah.
Like that, especially as Latinas, especially as I'm Puerto Rican and Dominican, as a Latina, I feel like what you get a lot of is that cancel culture. Like, we're going to just eliminate her. Vamos a tirarla a la basura. We're going to toss her to the trash because it's so easy to do that. And I think that's really taboo. I think that mentality, that mean girl spirit, that cattiness, we should definitely eliminate that. Because if you're really doing it to support one another, if you're in a business that you want to see other people grow, then you shouldn't be doing that.
I mean, you're in the empowerment business, and I feel like there's a lot of women in the empowerment business who aren't empowering shit but themselves.
Right.
And it is kind of something that really sucks that I wish we could shift. I don't know how. I don't know how we can shift it aside from you just finding your tribe and just vibing with your tribe.
That's exactly what I was going to say with you. You know, weed out the people that aren't meant for you. And I say that very intentionally, right? Or they're going to start weeding themselves out.
Right.
And so knowing your purpose, knowing what it is that you're doing, setting your eye on that mission, because that cancel culture in our cultura, that we have, like that competencia, almost that competition that we have with one another is so ugly. Mm-hmm. It's so ugly. And if you think about it, back in the days, like, our families didn't have that competencia. They all lived together. You had husbands that had two wives that lived across the street from each other, and they were happy. They were, right?
Maybe.
You never know. But I mean, you have families that had 16 kids from, we could talk about that. The point is that there wasn't that competition.
Yeah. It's like a crabs in a barrel mentality.
Correct.
I think it also has to do with just like American culture.
Yeah.
And
entitlement.
And just like what we're taught and how it almost, you know, systemically we are positioned to be pitted against each other.
Correct.
And so it just flows from generation to generation, you know?
Right.
So
that competition.
Yeah, exactly. So essentially we got to be the change we want to see.
There you go.
Is what I'm hearing, Mama. So tell the people where they can follow you, where they can learn more about you, where they can go to the next brunch, other things.
Yeah. So the next brunch is coming up in Los Angeles. And I'm just so excited to be there. If you can't catch that one, you can catch us in Miami. You can also follow me on Boss Babes and Brunch with an _ at the end on Instagram. Our website is bossbabesandbrunch.com. All the things.
I love that. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For sharing, for being candid.
Yes.
For being a badass.
Keeping it real,
for
girl.
leading a charge, for not quitting.
Thank you.
And for driving 2 hours. I appreciate you.
That part. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, amor. And shout out to all of you for joining us. I'll see you in the next episode. Ciao.
Listen up, Latinas. It is time to take ownership of our dinero. Because if we don't, who will? Did you know that only 45% of Latinas have a savings account? And 83% of Hispanic millennials have no retirement savings whatsoever. Damn! And what's even more alarming, hermanas, is that even though we're the second largest ethnic group in the United States, there is a $200 billion lending gap between Latino-owned businesses and their white counterparts. This is why Fortuna Latina exists, a free program designed to help Latinas build wealth, manage money, and secure their financial independence. This is about controlling your future and letting go of your money trauma. Mi gente, the wealth gap isn't shrinking, it is growing. And unless we take control of our finances right now, we risk passing down struggle instead of security. So don't hesitate, hermana. Join Fortuna Latina, the only financial literacy program designed specifically by Latinas for Latinas. Get access to expert mentorship, an amazing community, and the tools that you need to thrive. Your financial independence begins right now. Join the movement today at fortunalatina.net.
Mi gente, did you enjoy this episode? Are you loving Banking on Cultura? Make sure to subscribe and follow us. Our goal is to grow this community so that we can all embrace our Latinidad, secure the big bag, and never question our cultura ever again. Please also take a moment to leave us a review. I love reading your reviews. Let me know what you are thinking, what guests we should have on, and if there are any topics you would like me to cover. I appreciate you so much for being here. Te amo mucho, and I'll check you out in the next episode.